Hello, I'm Chef Monica. I have been the General Mills corporate chef dedicated to K-12 since 2004. This past year, I haven't gotten to visit schools or spend nearly as much time with operators as I have in the past, but I've stayed virtually connected and heard some concerns about menu fatigue. I've heard many of you are working with shortened menu cycles. I understand that your product options may be limited because of yet to be served USDA commodity foods, and your distributors may have been forced to limit what they can carry. You may be operating with staff shortages and increased demands on their time for wrapping and delivering menu items. As if that isn't enough, your students' lives may have been more restricted than usual. So like all of us, food has become more than a tummy-filling nutrition. Meals have become an important source of entertainment. What can you do when menu fatigue sets in? Change what you can. Find ways to inject some fun. Maybe add some twists to recipes or try some novel pairings. I'm hoping I have some ideas that can give you and your students a bit of a boost. In the realm of changing what you can, I'll be taking the following approaches. Use what you have in different ways. Create opportunities for customization. Get back to speed scratch offerings where you can. If you were looking for a way to liven up the deli sandwiches that are one of the routine offerings on your menu, maybe one of these ideas would interest you. Some upscale restaurants offer deconstructed sandwiches. That just means that the components of the sandwich are presented separately with maybe a few extra twists. You can change the look of meat and cheese, cut into snack-sized pieces and serve in a bento box, or do meat and cheese roll-ups with veggies and dip. What about the grain components? You could offer crackers or do something more surprising, like offering a cup pack of cereal or one of their favorite IW frozen breakfast breads. Speaking of breakfast offerings, French toast makes a great carrier for deli meats. One of the national chains offered French toast sandwiches not too long ago. Build on that. Offering snack-sized cuts of deli meat and cheese allows students to make their own little French toast sliders. Why not offer IW waffles with chicken nuggets? This grab-and-go combination has the look and feel of a picnic and can be served chilled. Even mini pancakes can moonlight as a carrier. Seed or soy or peanut butter cups, packages of dried fruit, sunflower seeds, and sliced apples combined with mini pancakes to make a novel menu offering and a playful sandwich for your students. Look at your IW breakfast inventory with fresh eyes. What might offer a fun twist to your sandwich menu? Here are menu pairing suggestions using cups of whole grain rich cereal. Each of these cups contains 2-ounce equivalent grain serving. Cereal and milk are obvious choices for breakfast, but what about menuing for lunch or supper in some unexpected ways, as do-it-yourself meal kits for students? Maybe the best part of this concept is that while you do the assembly of the individually wrapped items, the students do the final prep work for themselves, and they think of it as having fun. The two ideas are for trail mix and a takeoff on nostalgic ants on a log. The ants on a log your students probably grew up enjoying was celery sticks with peanut butter and raisins. For this version of an ants on a log meal kit, assemble individually wrapped packages of nut or soy butter, raisins, sunflower seeds, and a cup cereal such as Cinnamon Toast Crunch or Blueberry Chex. Complete the meal with celery and carrot sticks, milk, and fresh fruit. Your students can happily dip and enjoy the combination of flavors and textures any way they want. For the trail mix kit, lots of cereal flavors work, but the Blueberry Chex and the Cinnamon Toast Crunch are particularly fun. I've combined Blueberry Chex with dried cranberry, sunflower seeds, and I like to add a tablespoon of mini chocolate chips. The chocolate and fruit flavors are so good together. This is what the trail mix looks like when your students have mixed it together. Remind your students to save some of the cereal in the cup to make cereal milk. pouring milk into a little bit of cereal creates great flavored cereal milk. This is a trendy way to combine whole grains and milk, and a clever way to get students to drink their milk. The fun part about using blueberry Chex? It turns their milk blue. Yogurt is a versatile product that can work as a standalone menu offering or be used as an ingredient. Yogurt can be combined with USDA foods in all sorts of different ways that can add variety to your menus. The classic way to serve yogurt is in parfaits. If you haven't been offering parfaits, I think you should start. This Parfait Pro bag makes the preparation easy. If you've only been offering parfaits, I've got some variations and new ideas. I think you should try them too. Parfaits. Crisp and crunchy, ready-to-eat, whole grain-rich cereal combined with creamy yogurt and sweet, colorful fruit create a menu favorite that can be served all across the day. Plus, parfaits work really well with school regulations. With 1 ounce of grain, 4 ounces of yogurt, and a half a cup of USDA commodity fruits, parfaits easily fit into 12 or 14 ounce cups and check the boxes for meal components at every serving occasion. For the grain option, you can add 1 ounce equivalent grain of granola directly to the parfait or serve it in an insert. One option is to serve just the yogurt and fruit in the cup and offer a variety of bowl-packed cereals so students can select their own and add cereals themselves. Another option is to serve the yogurt and fruit with cereal bar on the side. Parfait components can be served in a range of containers to keep your menu fresh and interesting. Yogurt bowls and banana splits are variations on the parfait theme. Bento boxes or other grab-and-go containers change the look of your offerings and can work for the array of ways and locations you are finding to serve your students. I looked at the fun trend of food mashups. You know, 2 good foods mashed together into one menu item like taco pie or cheeseburger soup, and came up with the idea of cheesecake parfaits. Parfaits have sort of the same ingredients as cheesecakes, but they are flipped upside down and have yummy cream cheese. Doing a mashup cheesecake parfait wasn't that hard. All I did was whip 32 ounces of softened, fat-free cream cheese into 64 ounces of yogurt, then assemble the cheesecake parfait in reverse. To assemble the cheesecake parfait, first add 1 ounce of granola to the bottom of the cup as the crust. Then layer in 6 ounces of the cream cheese filling. The 4 ounces of yogurt counts as the meat alternate. And finally, top it off with fruit. Switching the usual parfait order makes it look more like cheesecake, but it credits just the same as the usual school parfait. Try serving it in a different container to make it look like carryout from a fancy restaurant with a great big menu. Parfait Pro works for more than just parfaits. I find the bulk bag is easier to empty than scraping out tubs. One of my favorite ways to show Parfait Pro is as part of a blenderless smoothie. Stirring unsweetened applesauce, a commodity I see in every school, and juice into yogurt results in a healthy, smoothie-like beverage without the need for fancy equipment. Each serving of this orange-flavored food court smoothie contains 4 ounces of yogurt for 1 meat alternate, and then 1/4 cup of applesauce and 1/4 cup of orange juice, which together credit as a 1/2 cup of fruit. 2-ingredient smoothies are another option. They don't have the fruit pulp texture that applesauce gives the blenderless smoothies, but some students may like that better. Just mix equal parts of yogurt and fruit juice. Per 8-ounce serving, the crediting is 1 meat alternate and a 1/2 cup of fruit. I learned from operators that they use the drained juice from their USDA canned fruit in smoothies. Why waste the juice drained from the canned pears used in a parfait when the juice can be used to make a smoothie? This purple smoothie is made with blueberry Parfait Pro and drained pear juice. For your high school students, another version of a smoothie is the Yogo Coffee Cooler. One 13-ounce portion contains 8 ounces of milk, 4 ounces of yogurt, a teaspoon of instant coffee, or 1 ounce of quadruple strength coffee, and an ounce of non-caloric flavored syrup. This is made with the mocha syrup. Many schools use decaffeinated coffee as an option. These Yogo coolers credit in reimbursable meals as 8 ounces of dairy and 1 meat alternate. Serve with a half a cup of fruit and 1 ounce equivalent grain, and you have the 3 components required for an offer versus serve breakfast. Everyone knows how much older students love coffee shops, and these coolers give you the option of serving something similar. And it's an excellent way to get students to drink milk. All of our smoothies, parfaits, and coolers should be served within 72 hours of preparation. Muffin tops are the best part of any muffin. Ask any kid or adult. Serving freshly baked muffin tops could be the best part of the morning for your students and a definite draw to your reimbursable breakfast. Using freezer-to-oven frozen muffin batter pucks can make serving freshly baked muffins manageable for your busy staff. This whole grain rich product credits as 1 ounce equivalent grain and comes in chocolate chip and blueberry, real blueberries. Some schools do menu them as scones. I guess that's okay. It's easier than explaining what happened to the muffin stem. Let me start by sharing some tips for successful baking. Be sure and bake only 1 flavor on a sheet pan. The 2 flavors may bake to doneness at slightly different points in the bake range. Lightly spray the parchment paper to make the baked muffins even easier to remove. The muffin tops can be baked in red and white fry boats, which can make service even easier. I like to change the size and shape of the muffins as ways to add variety to the menu. Here's a monster muffin, which is a 2 ounce equivalent grain serving. These are easy to do. Just stack 1 muffin puck on top of the other before baking. These will take a few minutes longer to bake, so don't bake single muffin tops and monsters on the same sheet pan. I also like to cut the muffins in half before baking to make dippers, or you can cut them in quarters to make muffin bites. Both of these ideas deliver a dippable baked item that provides interactive fun for your students. And I like to dress the muffins up for holiday fun. A couple of candy-coated chocolate candies make these into muffin bugs, and a few pinches to the raw batter and some sprinkles results in a heart. I showed you monster muffin made with 2 muffin tops, but you can combine the muffins to make other baked goods too. Stacked sideways in a loaf pan bakes into a quick bread. Laid out in a steam table pan topped with oats produces a coffee cake, and baked on top of USDA canned fruit makes an easy warm cobbler. These were ideas for you to change the way you bake the muffin pucks. Now for some ideas on adding variety to the ways you serve muffin tops. They're great by themselves, but they make excellent sandwiches for a 2 ounce equivalent grain serving. I like to show the blueberry muffin tops as a breakfast all-day offering. Layered with ham, egg, and cheese, this will rival any quick-serve restaurant meal. The chocolate chip, paired with nut or seed butter, sunflower seeds, dried cranberries, or raisins, make it a DIY meal kit your students will enjoy. They can dip or make a sandwich, their choice. I always want to share ideas to reduce waste. Sometimes the things you make with leftover products are the best of all. It's easy to crumble leftover muffins with yogurt and USDA fruits to make a version of a parfait. In a fancy restaurant, this would be called a trifle. In schools, this is called a smart way to serve 1 grain, 1 meat alternate, and a half a cup of fruit. I think my favorite application of all is the muffin biscotti, a crunchy delight for dipping into yogurt. Slice or quarter the baked muffins and rebake at a low temperature until they're crisp. Muffin tops are a delightful whole grain rich option for your reimbursable meal entrees. Keep in mind that when they're on the menu, the muffin tops do qualify as a competitive food that same day and the following day for a la carte service. So you could serve muffin tops for breakfast one day, Slice and rebake them and serve the muffin biscotti in your coffee shop that day and the next. There is something magical about the smell of freshly baked cinnamon rolls. It is perfectly acceptable to use that magic to your advantage. Lure those sleepy students into breakfast. These cinnamon rolls were developed to be a simple freezer-to-oven product. The technology behind them isn't magic, but it might seem so to your staff. A few tips to help you bake the absolute best product. As funny as it might sound, there is actually a top and bottom to the cinnamon rolls. The top is rough looking and has creases. That side needs to face up. The bottom of the cinnamon roll is a smooth cut. That is where the long cinnamon roll was cut into portions in manufacturing. The reason it makes a difference is that the cut side was kind of pinched together. That pinched together part can push the ooey gooey cinnamon slurry out onto the sheet pan rather than up and over the top of the cinnamon roll. Another baking tip. If you want, you can pan the cinnamon rolls the night before baking and hold them overnight in the cooler. If you do that, they will need a shorter bake time, and they bake into a slightly larger roll. This one is freezer to oven. This one thawed overnight. Cinnamon rolls can be baked in the red and white fry boats as well. That can make them easier to serve. The cinnamon rolls don't need any finishing touches, but if you like, you could give them a dusting of powdered sugar, a drizzle of icing, caramel sauce, or even chocolate sauce is nice for special occasions, or to make an ordinary Wednesday special. Sometimes I like to cut them in quarters before baking. That turns cinnamon rolls into kind of a monkey bread. That begs for some kind of a dip, and a cup of yogurt works really well. Cinnamon rolls can be served as a side grain with the salad. In the Midwest, schools traditionally serve their cinnamon rolls with chili. It's a delicious combination. Try it. Brunch for lunch is popular with students. Try serving a hot ham and cheese sandwich on a cinnamon roll. If you ever have any leftover cinnamon rolls, slice them through the middle and then rebake them at a low temperature until they're crispy. Or crumble and layer with yogurt and fruit for an extra special parfait. These 2-ounce equivalent grain cinnamon rolls make a delicious whole grain rich offering for any of your reimbursable meal entrees. As a grain entree, they may be served as competitive food the same day that they are on the menu and the following day as well. Speed scratch mixes, such as this whole grain muffin mix, can be an excellent way for you to bring signature items to your menus. Serve them for breakfast or as one of your side grain options. Muffins are included in Group D in Exhibit A. A 1-ounce equivalent grain serving is 55 grams or 2 ounces. Canned and frozen USDA fruits are featured in many of the muffin recipes available on the General Mills website. These muffins were prepared with pumpkin puree and pumpkin spice, but could just as easily be made with pureed canned sweet potatoes. While this is labeled a muffin mix, muffin pans aren't necessary. Batter can be baked in a sheet pan or steam table pan, then cut for easy-to-serve muffin squares. Batter made with the 5-pound box of mix fits into a full sheet pan. When cut into 8 by 8, it yields 64 servings. Each muffin square will be a 1-ounce equivalent grain serving. This half pan yields 32 portions and is prepared with frozen blueberries. Sometimes I drag a fork across the top of the batter before baking to create texture. I added a few green sprinkles to this carrot muffin recipe before baking. Don't just cut portions into squares. The 64 servings per sheet pan can be cut into bar shapes or even into triangles to change the look of your offerings. A simple dusting of powdered sugar right before serving can dress up your wholesome baked goods. Consider doing some speed scratch baking with boxes of whole grain muffin mix and the fruit in your storeroom or freezer. The muffins and muffin squares freeze nicely, which allow you to bake them in advance and keep a variety of signature flavors on hand. Develop your own seasonal offerings to keep your student customers delighted. Thank you for taking this culinary journey with me. I hope you discovered some new ideas and inspirations. Please check out our website at generalmillscf.com for recipes and helpful ideas and resources.